Welcome to Chapter 5. This is your captain speaking. Book Blitz.
Thank you for flying Air Book Blitz.
Thank you for flying Air Book Blitz. This is your captain speaking. Bobo Bodobo. If you look out your left, you'll see the mighty mountain of Chapter 5.
You'll see the mighty mountain of Chapter 5. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting chapter because this is the first time when we're really seeing more of the elements of who Edward is, not just personality wise, although that is a thing, but also seeing his responses to things that are kind of unusual. Bella goes to lunch at school that day, and she sees that Edward asks her to come and sit with him. And she does, and they start having a bit of a conversation. And she keeps trying to figure out, what is this guy? Like, he can't just be human. He moved too fast. He was too strong. He stopped a van. There's got to be something more. And she kind of half-jokingly is going, okay, maybe he's like Spider-Man or something. But she's only half-joking. And they have a conversation about all this, and he's kind of chuckling about it, and he's like, okay, well, what if I'm not the superhero? What if I'm the supervillain? She's like, oh, we got a bad boy alert.
Yeah, exactly.
Like ring, ding, 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 bad boy alert. Like,
yeah, he's just like the teen. He is the Anakin Skywalker. You know what I mean?
I hate sand. We shouldn't be friends.
I mean, basically, you know what I mean? It's, and that's actually why I kind of like my version. It's still tropey in my version. This kind of distant, broody, significant other, but at the same time, I feel like it's generally associated with kind of bad boy, pretty boy. You know what I mean? Even the subtle trope of the fact that he likes cars. You see what I'm saying? And then Belle doesn't. That's also traditionally what the gender roles do. Versus in my version, Beau doesn't care for cars at all, but Belle does, and then so does in my version later on Julie, aka Jacob. Anyway.
So at school after lunch, Bella has biology class, and Edward says that he's going to cut class today. He asks her to do so, but she's just too studious for that, and she really less that she's just more nervous about getting in trouble.
Yeah,
honestly. And it just so happens that today is a day where everybody pricks their finger and does a little test to see what their blood type is. And so Bella apparently gets really, really faint at the sight of blood, and specifically the smell of blood. She gets really, really faint about it, and so she goes to the Mike takes her to the, which this is kind of funny. I don't know if this is in your version, but it's kind of like the teacher goes, "Hey, can somebody take her to the nurse's office?" And Mike's up.
Yeah, no, that's Michaela's. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is super real.
No, absolutely. Yeah, people are like, "Oh yeah, of course. I will, of course, take the chance to take the girl that I super dig anywhere."
No. Dude, I remember I was 12, and I was in this drama thing.
Yeah.
And I remember there was this one time when and of course there was this girl I really liked, and
her name was Jeffaline Smith.
Her name was Sarah, actually. Jeffaline Smith?
Yeah, sorry. That's
her name was Jeffaline Smith.
She had the roundest eyes.
But this is super real because it was she needed the drama teacher or whatever. She was like, "Oh hey, we need a chair for Sarah for this thing," and boom, me and this other guy were up, trying to get a chair, almost competing, this. So it's just so real, that, especially at that kind of young age,
where you don't really know how to
handle anything.
Yeah.
Except in this case, this is about like a 17-year-old boy, and like in that case, it was like
still
11-year-olds.
Youngsters,
Like
17-year-olds are still youngsters, dude. Like they still just,
I
dig
guess
girls.
so.
You know what I mean? Like
I guess I was just so mature at that age.
nah, man.
No, I know, dude. You knew me when I was 17. That is absolutely not true. Anyway, so Mike starts taking her to the nurse's office. Edward meets up with them halfway, and he's like, I got it from here, Mike. And he, like, carries her to the nurse's office. And Mike is, like, indignant about it.
Yeah. Well, because there's something else that happens, too. I think in my version, it's like someone else gets sick as well. And so, like...
Yeah, that's a little bit later, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like Michaela helps them. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, this happens in my version, too.
Yeah, so they go to the nurse's office. The nurse is like, oh, yeah, this happens every time. And Bella starts feeling a little better. And then another person comes in, but Bella's feeling better. And this kid feels way worse than she did. And Mike brought this new person, too. And so Edward and Mike kind of have this little standoff just a little bit. And, like, but Edward's just like, I am literally a god. And that is literally how I'm described repeatedly in this book. Like, at least in my version, like, she refers to him as, like, godlike and, like, freaking Adonis and all this stuff.
No, like, not Adonis in mine. I can't remember. It's always perfect. It's always shapely. It's always like angelic. You know, something like that. Like
okay, yeah. In my version, like she literally says God. I swear she says godlike at some point. I remember that.
I mean, no, he talks about goddess several times. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, so Mike invites Bella to go to the beach on this little like picnic or something that Saturday, and he kind of frames it in a way specifically to make sure that Edward is not invited. Like
yeah. What a dick.
Like how do you actually do that? Like I'm trying to remember, like how would you actually?
I think it was something about this car space in the car. Like we're taking somebody's car, but you don't have a lot of space, so that kind of thing.
I know that was like the excuse later, but like the actual invitation is like
you're just openly a dick. You're like, you are invited.
Yeah, like pointing, like you specifically.
You are invited.
So Edward kind of gets, Bella out of school early.
Yeah.
And
drives her home, I think.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he drives her home. And Bella tries to invite him to the beach party, but he asks, where is it? And she says, oh, it's down at this particular place at the Native American reservation. And he's like, no, my family doesn't go there. Like, we're
no, I don't think my family doesn't go there. I think he says, no, it's, you go by yourself. Like,
that's right. That doesn't get said.
That's by someone else later.
Yeah, someone else says that, but he basically says like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, you go. I don't think I was invited anyway. Like, I'll see you around.
Yeah.
And they're this is the music part. So they're driving home, and he's got like this very particular classical music on. It's like,
no, yeah, and she's like, oh, I love this, blah blah blah, and then like,
he's like, oh yeah, it's my favorite too.
And she's like, oh yeah, of course. I was like, of course I know it meant like romantic, like classical music, like anything. Like it's just one of those things where your character somehow magically knows anything that's like old culture. I don't know how to put it. Like, oh, of course I've read, all of Dickinson. You know what I mean? All of Chaucer. Chaucer's a particular favorite when writers want to like make their character know some author, but then the author's probably never read that author himself. But it's a classic author. But yeah, of course. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
No, really, and like. So they gush and gush and gush about, oh, this is amazing classical music, and I can't believe that, we two kindred souls like this classical music and these classical authors. And
fuck.
getting classical.
Sorry, I know.
Like,
moving on.
And so They find out some more stuff about each other's families. He asks her questions about her mom. She asks questions about his family. She finds out that he's an orphan and he was kind of that the Cullen family is kind of unusual. That pretty much all the kids are adopted by wow gosh, what are their names? There's Esme and the mom's name is Esme and the dad's name is Dr. Cullen. I'll remember the name next time. I'm sure.
Dr. Cullen will work.
Yeah, just Dr. Cullen will work. And that works too because
she's Dr. Cullen in mine too.
Yeah, that's agender and that's because your version. And so Edward says, "Hey, I'm not going to be at school tomorrow, and good luck at the beach, and I'm going to be hiking out in this particular place with Emmett.
Yeah.
And by the way, don't get hurt, don't get any accidents. Promise me you'll be fine." She's like, "Oh, I'm more capable of that than you know." And anyway, and that's our chapter. So, do you have any other thoughts about all this?
No, nothing. I mean, that's pretty much that whole chapter. I particularly liked in my version. I think it's in your version too. Like Bo has like an excuse as to why he gets blood. It's very faints at blood. And he starts saying like, "I've got over inflated hyper blah blah blah," some sort of really scientific sounding thing.
It doesn't say that.
And then Edward, and then in my version, Edith, when they walk in, he goes, "Oh, we've got a hyperinflated blah 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 over here," and being really snarky about it. And I was like, I thought that was funny. Anyway, it's
that doesn't happen in the
Aragon.
original.
Wait, it doesn't happen? Does it give a scientific?
You just said Aragon.
No, I was saying it doesn't happen in Aragon either, in the sense of Aragon literally has no humor. There's never a time where anyone cracks a joke.
Yeah, no, yeah. This book has humor for sure.
And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of funny.
Relatability, though. I mean, this whole thing. So far, this book is very relatable.
Yeah,
it's not entirely, but for the most part,
yeah. But that's the point.
It's
part
pretty...
of it is that it is unrelatable in the sense that yes, this is a perfect human being. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, it is relatable. Is that all the human drama is human?
Yeah.
As opposed to, I am the magical girl. You're destined to love. You're the magical girl. I'm destined to love. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Which is Aragon. Anyway,
thank you for listening, everybody.
Blitz.
That was the mountain of that chapter.
Thank you for playing Book Blitz. This is your stop here. If any of you are transferring over to Aragon, you need to take Gate 1 at the Dallas Fort Worth Airport.
See, that was perfect because not only did it sound the way that they talk, but I couldn't understand a word you said, just like when they talk. So
very good, very good.
Yeah. So anyway, see you next time for Chapter 6, Book Blitz.
Book Blitz.